August 31st. Today is a special day. It's my friend Jen's birthday. I call her Lump because one of my uncles would call us and people Sugar Lump and Lump Stuck. Sometimes she calls me Stamp because one of the vendors used to say we were like a envelope and stamp always together, which I thought was cute too. And not only am I wishing her a happy birthday just because it's her birthday, but I also want to share a little something about our relationship. So I met Jen in 2004 and we had worked together. And one of our traditions was on inventory morning, and even during the week, there was a place we went, but we were bingo buddies. And we would not only play bingo, we would be side betting on bingo, like who can get 69 first or B11, whatever it is. And then we had all these silly things. Anyway, it was definitely entertaining and connection as well as gambling. But we had a lot of good times there, but we also did other things. I've gone camping with her and, we've done things. So fast forward, I quit gambling, right? And now I have someone in my life that I used to gamble with. Oh no. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because Jen and I are still friends, and Jen has been supportive of my recovery journey since the very beginning. And even though we used to go to the casino together, even though we used to play bingo together, it didn't define our friendship. So as you start going through your journey, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because if there's people that aren't being supportive of you when you quit, and they can go gamble if they want or whatever, then maybe they're the kind of people you don't need in your life. Because if they're really your true friends, they're going to be there whether you're gambling or not, or drinking or not, or whatever the thing is or not. So that's our first lesson for today. Now let's see what the reading has to. Here goes. August 31st. St. John of the Cross says, in order to arrive at possessing everything, desire to possess nothing. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I didn't read it in advance, so you're getting the ad-lib stuttering version. Expectations can cause havoc in our daily living. We all have the basic right to be treated with dignity and respect. But that doesn't mean life will always go our way. The twists and turns of life often carry us up rivers of disappointment to shores we never chose to visit. Facing life as fully involved travelers without expectations about outcomes is perhaps the brightest way to travel. Making plans without setting up for certain outcomes makes us flexible makes us flexible people who learn to go with the flow. It has been said that there is a direct proportion between our level of expectation and the amount of stress we have in our lives. Trusting the results in a larger plan allows us to relax and enjoy the adventure of recovery. As we grow closer to our higher power, we find we can let go. We're more peaceful and confident, less frantic and controlling. Trusting that our higher power will protect us, no matter what we encounter on our journey, help us face the future with a calm, loving heart. Today, let me relax into life and let go of my expectations. I can totally relate to this on so many levels. Oh my goodness, because I'm such a believer. The twists and turns of life often carry us up rivers of disappointment to shores we never chose to visit. Isn't that interesting? That we don't necessarily go where we plan to go. And I think this reading is about how do we handle that? So when we end up somewhere we don't mean to end up, are we embracing it? Are we resenting it? Are we going with the flow? It's blown my mind because this is so relative to me this week. If you asked me 6 months ago, would I have a virtual assistant business in the Philippines with an amazing team and quit my job because of it, I would have been like, no, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. But here I am after, a short 6-8 weeks of working on this project. It's now turned into my my twist and turn of the journey, and I'm just going with it. And has it been a little stressful? Sure. But that was just the stress of change. But I didn't push it away. I feel like it's what I'm supposed to do. And I know what my goals are. And I've kind of said all along the last maybe 6 or 9 months as I've been sorting it out, is that I'd go with the flow and whatever presents itself. So that's come in the form of different coaches, different people in my life, different circumstances. And so far it's been interesting. And because of my relatively, newfound faith in the universe and that everything happens for a reason on the level that I do believe it, I don't have to worry about the things to get me to my goal. I've totally just kind of released them. I don't try to control it all. Like, I try to function and do what's, steps and actionable items. Don't let me confuse that with, not trying to control the nature of my fate, because it's two different things. Yes, I have to be responsible and get things done, but I don't have to micromanage my life or anyone else's. And if you're, I try to make sure that I address this, for those of you who aren't spiritually there yet. Remember, I wasn't either. This is all new. It's all new. Gosh, this last essentially year or whatever, since I started my 2019 quest and going to church and trying to learn and just having an open heart and an open mind about meditation and what I believe in. And the more I practice it, the more I learn about it, the more I believe in it, the more confident I am. People think I'm kind of crazy about it, essentially, which is fine. My uncle's like, I love your optimism yesterday at breakfast. And I'm like, it's not optimism. Like, it's going to work out the way it's supposed to. Here he was, he's put in for a job and he was so stressed about it yesterday. Well, I just interviewed yesterday and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, hey, I didn't even realize it was Sunday, but I was like, it's going to work out the way it's supposed to. Like, if you're meant to get the job, you get the job. And if you're not meant to, you'll end up where you're supposed to end up. And then when I realized it was Sunday, I was like, duh, of course they're not calling him, because it's Sunday. Like, people, especially at high levels, are not working on the weekends to jump through hoops for candidates. I mean, if they are, they're not leading right, in my opinion. Anyway, I did my little digression. It has been said there is a direct proportion between our level of expectation and the amount of stress we have in our lives. It's so true. And I'll say that I'm still guilty of that on some levels. Like, I would have expected, I would have expected to be treated a little different. I expected the conversations to go a little different with people at my day job, for example. And what ended up happening was miscommunication, and it ended up causing me a little stress that I wasn't expecting. And it wasn't anything earth shattering, but because I did have this mental expectation, it did increase my stress. My uncle his expectation is he's not going to get the job. He always loses when there's he's in the top contenders and blah, blah, blah. And now here he is stressing over it all weekend. It's just not serving him. What can he do about it, right? You have to wait for the phone call to find out one way or another. It's just the way it is. Trusting the results to a larger plan allows us to relax and enjoy the adventure of the journey. It's so true, guys. Like, for example, over the weekend, I went shopping for my next residence, which will be an RV. And the RV costs as much as a house. And I'm new to entrepreneurship. I don't have my decent job anymore. And that's going to be where I live a year from now. At least that's my plan. And that's what I want to do. And do I know how I'm going to make it happen? Not exactly. If it doesn't, am I worried about if it does or doesn't happen? No. If it's supposed to happen, it will. If it's not supposed to happen, it won't. I am excited about it and looking forward to it. And I can't think of what would keep me away from doing it. But if something does, it does. But I'm not going to stress about it for the next year as I worry about it. Like as I think about it. I'm going to take some action, though. I'm going to continue to downsize and try to find good homes for things that are valuable to me, that I want to go to people who will enjoy them or appreciate them. But beyond that, nope, no stress. And the last paragraph talks about, having that connection with the higher power and turning it over. It's a lot of the same philosophies that we talk about all the time, like just letting it go, not stressing, because stress is just filling the bucket. And if you can have the faith that it works out or that your higher power is going to take care of it, you definitely will you'll feel differently and you'll be able to function better. Because if you don't have stress, like stress kind of also, I know for me, like this morning I woke up, I started my morning routine. And one of my employees, I made the mistake of looking at my phone, and she had communicated something, which meant there was things I had to follow up on, and I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have looked at my phone, because even if I didn't take action, I would have thought about it, and it would have made me nuts until I did do something. But I shouldn't even looked at my phone, because then it stressed me out, and I ended up screwing up my whole morning routine. And I was getting bitchy for a while, and I had to reset, and then I went for my walk, and all of this. And here I sit now an hour later than I normally record because this screwed up my morning, and I could still be stewing in it and pissy. And I had actually forgotten about it until I was just trying to explain to you that this happened. So what I would like for you and me and everyone is to follow this last little sentence in the reading today. Let me relax into life and let go of my expectations. Trust me, my peeps, life will get better. All right, it's Monday for me. I hope that you guys have a great start to the week. We'll be back tomorrow.